I can't get a job.
No one will hire me.
When I work, I only make $3 an hour.
People are afraid of me.
No one wants me in their neighborhood.
I don't have a place to live.
I'm always hungry.
I'm tired of
Being lonely.
Being sad. These voices.
Taking medicine. I'm tired.
We wander around.
Because the facilities where we used to live are now closed.
The work program we used to work lost their funding.
I can't find or afford a place to live.
Don't I deserve more?
Don't I deserve a chance?
My first hospitalization was in '84. It was very unpleasant.
I was labeled at the age 13 with mental illness. I was very scared. I had never met too many mentally ill people in my life. Only two in my entire life.
I was young, 10, 12 when I first was told you have this. I chased my sister with a butcher knife, and I guess they figured I had issues. I had a situation at school. I was in 6th grade, graduation, and I attacked a girl, and I was sent to the hospital, for a few weeks. So that was, my first trip my beginning of the psych trip.
I was first diagnosed after I came out of the United States Navy. Very confusing, scary.
Oh, I'd say about when I was about 11 years old, I was considered to be like they wanted to put me away.
No parent, no mother wants to have their child sick. I found that when my son was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, it was a kiss of death. He was locked in. To have your child locked in somewhere with a bunch of other people just like him took my breath away.
It was kind of scary at first, but then once you recognized the human element, once you recognize that most of those people are not so different from you or I, it became much easier. It became much more rewarding.
The facility at that time was a very cold place, and there wasn't enough room for the poor people that were there. Some of them were lying on the floor, some of them were walking all over, and to me it was just like there was just no control of the situation.
The biggest change was the farm. It used to be kind of a self-sufficient farm right on the grounds down there, and the patients would work it, grow their own vegetables and milk the cows, and and they had a purpose. They got up in the morning and they had a purpose. Many of the patients, that's where they came from, were farms, and over the years, for whatever reason, the bureaucracy decided that it was not cost effective, I guess, and they closed it. And it was kind of it had a big impact on the patients because they had no more purpose. They had, no reason to get up and go out and feel productive and feel like they've accomplished something, And as the years went by, in order to gain and maintain accreditation, the paperwork took priority over patient care. So consequently, it looked pretty on paper, but in fact, it wasn't. Most of it wasn't happening. It just took away from patient care. They decided to take these facilities, and I guess they no longer seen the need, and they closed them for whatever reasons, and consequently, they created a whole new society of what I call street people that live in cardboard boxes and sleep in alleys and are lost.
I've been at shelter where people are homeless and things. And that's where my illness was at its peak. I didn't realize it.
most of those people that were housed in those institutions were so institutionalized that they just weren't able to function in society.
That's the change I don't like seeing. They put people such as myself out into the community with no preparation for us to be ready. I think that should change.
And consequently, sometimes they even become criminals because of it. They're out on the streets. They're lost. They have no purpose, no direction, and they need direction. And I just feel that it was a grave injustice to close the facilities.
The mentally ill are locked up in prisons. They're cast away, and in most communities they're on the street. They're laughed at. They're sneered at.
They thought they were doing the right thing, but it really wasn't the right thing.
The system in this country has failed the mentally ill, is failing the mentally ill. The system has not helped my family. It doesn't help any families that I know. Every mother wants to protect their child, and every mother wants the best for their child. And now when I look at my son, all I see is a shell. I see him, but sometimes when I look in his eyes, he sees nothing.
Working in the mental health system can be very frustrating. There seems to be an emphasis on seeing as many people as we can. The focus seems to be on the quantity of services that we provide, not necessarily the quality of services that we provide. In a lot of ways, the mental health system doesn't provide the resources that people need to truly recover and get better. Funding seems to be being cut every year. There doesn't seem to be a huge or a wide array of services and treatment options for people, especially in smaller communities.
Work programs, there are none. Hospitals are closed. Outpatient mental health clinics are stretched to the gill. Those poor people who work those clinics are overloaded, and the people at the top just keep shoving it upon them. And all they do is push paperwork.
People in the mental health system face enormous amount of disadvantages. People in the mental health system are marginalized. They're not afforded the same opportunities as those without a mental health diagnosis are. And some of these disadvantages lead to inadequate housing, lack of job opportunities, poverty, broken friendships, broken families.
I struggle every day with this. Being diagnosed with a mental health illness is like, you're not welcome. You're not part of the earth.
You know, it's really hard because when people hear, wow, there's a person next door who has depression and they're bipolar, I say, nope, I don't want you living in my area. You should be into a controlled environment.
Friends I had, childhood enemies I had, their parents would say something to my parents, and it affected my family deeply because it was rubbed in their face that I was mentally ill.
The way it's affected my family is no contact whatsoever. I don't have a family.
There was no support from the community. And even worse, to my shock, was there was absolutely no support much from my family. When they heard the two words mental illness, they just kind of disappeared. If he had cancer or diabetes, people would embrace him, they would embrace my family, and he would be more understood in society. But now he's an outcast.
Some people, I feel, have to feel better than somebody, so they target me as an easy target to put down.
They look at my background, reputation. They look at my history, criminal history. They judge me. They don't understand me.
They have no respect in the community.
Because we've been labeled in some ways where we feel funny around other people because they look at us like we're nothing.
You know, just because somebody has mental illness doesn't mean they're violent. And you fight that all the time. The only time you hear about a mentally ill person is when there's a shooting, and all of a sudden you hear that this poor soul who did the shooting was schizophrenic. And that's the image people get of schizophrenia.
You don't know what discrimination is until you lived it.
a lot of ways, our current mental health system creates and maintains mental illness. If we continue to use the same pathologizing deficit-based language that we currently use and the vocabulary we use with the medical model, it further perpetuates stigma, discrimination, until we find a better vocabulary and better words to label and understand the true human experience that people have when they suffer from extreme emotional or mental states. People aren't going to be cared for in the way they need to be cared for. They're not going to be treated in the way they need to be treated. Society in a whole needs to change our beliefs and views of people within the mental health system. It's time that a system is created that truly puts the person at the center of the system. It's time that we move from patient to person. It's time that we stop looking at community integration and look at community contribution and what we can do to help people get back to work, to have a family, to live the life they want to live. I think in a lot of ways society's views of people with mental health issues need to change. I think we need to accept and truly believe that people with mental health issues can and do recover and get better. They can live meaningful lives.
The mentally ill have a tough enough road, and if there's no place for them to go and feel that they've contributed to society, then I don't see any hope for them. I think we need to start educating our children in schools, in elementary, about mental illness, just like we do every other disease. So when these children grow up, they will not have the stigmas towards the mental illness. I think that's where the real change is.
And I really think it needs to be more education out there and more reaching out to those that are suffering like we all are.
The real needs of the people I work with are the same needs that everybody has. The need to live in a nice home, to have friends, the need to have people that care about them, the respect, the opportunity to make their own choices and direct their own lives, money, real tangible things that they need to survive and be a productive citizen, work opportunities, the opportunity to fail, the opportunity to learn, the opportunity to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes, the opportunity to grow. There are some programs, people, and services out there that truly do help and benefit individuals and families. There's self-help programs out there that teach people how to take control or how to retake control of their lives, to develop their own goals and to lead the lives that they want to live. There's programs out there that provide a community within a community where people can learn the skills they need to learn, reteach themselves, and then take those skills out in the community to reintegrate and really contribute to society, the larger society around them, to feel confident in themselves again.
I got involved with, step by step when I first started out. I come in slowly, but I'm more into it than I was back then. A lot has to do with that I'm lonely and I need a place to go. And I want to be around people who know what it feels like to be hurt. And that way we can help each other.
Step by Step is a self-help program.
It's a peer-driven
Community organization.
For people with mental illnesses.
I come to Step by Step to
learn a lot of things about myself, just to get out of the house, because I'm by myself.
To socialize.
To meet new friends.
peer support.
Support groups.
Recovery. Learn how to cook. Transportation.
A free healthy lunch.
Employment.
Education.
To work as a volunteer.
Laundry services.
Bing bong, foosball.
Reiki, meditation.
Use computers.
And to relax.
I like it here at Step by Step because
it has helped me find myself again.
I know that when I feel depressed or I'm having a bad day, there's always somebody here that I can talk to.
It gives me a place to go so my days aren't all real long. And
Step by Step has helped me in so many ways.
Be able to socialize like me, like right now, like I'm standing here. I would never have dreamt for me to be standing here
talking to a camera.
I like it as step by step because
I have a lot of friends here.
People do not look down on me.
everybody gets along, no matter what problems they may have.
And this is where I can sit and feel real at home.
And this place gives us kind of like a second home.
This is where I like coming,
If there were no step-by-step, I would probably be in bed all day, or I might end up hurting myself.
So I wouldn't have a place to go.
I'd probably be on my couch at home playing video games for 18 hours a day.
I wouldn't be socializing.
I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for step by step.
I do realize that without step by step, a lot of us mental health peers would not have a place to go where you're accepted.
Yes, it is. No, 5 pounds. Me too.
How was the diet?
Well, I wake in the morning and I step outside. I look and I get real high. I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, hey, hey, hey. I say, hey, what's going on? And I try. Oh my God, do I try? I try to keep this out of an institution, and I cry. Oh my God, do I cry? I cry for peace and understanding in no institution. So I wake in the morning and I step outside. You look and I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? I said, hey, hey, I said, hey, what's going on?
So it depends what day it is as to what source I'm going to grab as my lifeline for that day. Whether it be calling my counselor or calling my friends to talk with or going to the drop-in center.
I have found so many people in the system, in the trenches, who really care about the patients and who really wish they had more to offer.
I feel very comfortable with who I got now. I got somebody who's starting to see my past and see that I have developed and I have trying to change.
Positive people in my life. I've got a real good support friendship, people that I can call.
I'm very fortunate that my family never gave up on me. Very fortunate they didn't disown me. I have I'm very lucky there. Well, the system has changed to help me be more predictable in job placements in the community, and it's also helped me to take care of myself better and make better decisions on what I should do with my life. I had to prove myself. I had to prove myself. Yeah, I did prove myself that I can do things. I take it day by day. I've been in self-help groups, and that biggest thing that ever helped me was take it day by day, that slogan. I dream about people who have been labeled at an early age that they can have a better future than myself.
I've been working in the woodshop program. I've been working there 4 years. I'm very, very proud to actually know at the end of every 2 weeks, I've got a paycheck. And I can feel good that what I've done, Every day I go into work, I'm just like, it's like a big drug for me. And that's part of my medication. Back then, that I will be able to put my hands on something that's going out to the public. And even for my mom to say, wow, I'm proud of you, that is just like the total icing on the cake. I've taken pictures of what I did and sent it to my son. For him to tell me he was proud of me, it's just like, you know what? There's no lottery ticket you could possibly give me to top that, the feeling that you get now. If anybody ever told me back then, right now, I'd be sitting here with my own place, living as comfortably as I am right now, I would say no. It's not a lot, but it's mine, and I'm very proud of what I have. You know, I have a bank account now. If anybody ever told me I can have a checking and a savings, like, wow, okay, yeah, right, I got a piggy bank, you know, but no. It's like, if I decide, well, you know, I want to just take off and go somewhere for a while, I have the opportunity. I'm able to do that now. My next goal is to take a cruise. That's my next goal here for next year, to save enough money to take a cruise. And I'm trying to quit smoking. So that's going to help me save up for my cruise. But, you know, my life every day is like a real battle. But I can handle it so much more today. But, you know, God's been good to me. He's put a lot of right people in my path, and I've been really, really lucky. You know, they tell you you have these labels. You are a proponent to violence. Yes, back then I was a very angry person, and now I'm able to confront a situation without having to hit somebody and yell, you know, and stuff like this here. And that's what a lot of people say, yep, she's a nut, she's crazy, and that's it. But no, we learn along the trip that it's not all about hitting and slicing. You can talk situations through. And that was like a really big challenge for me. A big challenge. And I'm doing good.
The thing that I want everybody to know is mental health is part of society. People don't need to be judgmental or need to be pushed aside.
I think people in the mental health system need to be treated like all people want to be treated, with compassion, with dignity, with respect, like a human being. I think the one key ingredient that we're missing is the understanding that people are people.
We're all the same, and we're dealing with the same thing. It's a day-to-day struggle.
You know, because I know that there are a lot of people just like me who have problems.
There's nothing wrong with having mental illness. It doesn't make you a bad person.
We're not all bad. We're just like anybody else.
I'm the same as you are.
I expect no special treatment from anybody. I just want to be treated just like another human being.
Just want to be happy, that's all I want.
Mental health can affect no matter what age, what sex, what race. It's part of our society.
Mental illness is the last scourge of this society, and we have to start shedding some light on that. The door has to come open, and we have to embrace the mentally ill. Mental illness can affect absolutely any family, any person. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how great a parent you think you are, or it doesn't matter where you live. Mental illness can come knocking to any doorstep. Don't be afraid to speak out if you have a loved one whom you think has a mental illness. They talk about saving money. If they put money into the system, these people would get healthy. These people would give back to the community. They would have a job. They would get out of the emergency rooms. They would be a part of the community. What the heck happens to my son when I die? That is my biggest fear that drives me every day. And if I give up, and if I give up hope, what happens to him? Is he going to be on the street like all these other poor, lovely, lost souls who have no place to go and no one to tell them that it's going to be okay? That could be my son.
I think the most important thing that people need to know about the mentally ill is that there, but for the grace of God, go I. If people could recognize that, there wouldn't be a stigma, there wouldn't be a problem at all.